provide candy stuff. So, what's up, my bros? It's your boy True Gary O's here, finally back on the Bugz2Men channel with my buddy Gary. It's been way too long since I've been on here. Real life stuff happened, but we're finally back. I think the last time I was on here actually was our second episode of the year, which is the Once and Always back in April. So yeah, it's been a long while since I've been on here.
But Reggie, that never happened. What's Once and Always? And we found a wild Tali. Hi, Tali.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's
You're
good
fine.
to see you or hear you, I guess. Yeah, it's fine. We just started. I very much just pointed out that it's been like 4 months since I've last been on an actual stream. So.
Well, I mean, listen, real life got in the way. You know, you got lost in the Once and Always dimension. I'm sure you hung out with Robo Rita, and I'm sure you hung out with Zach and Billy and did more hip hop keto.
Dude, if I could actually hang out with Walter Jones, David Yost, that'd be actually pretty cool.
Well, I mean, listen, if anybody wants to hang out with Johnny on Boss right now, you have 2 opportunities every week. Ultraman Blazar, English dub, and Bleach.
I mean, come on, Gary. You and Vaughn, and I guess Sean, non-verbally agreeing, kind of got me into Ultraman. So that's
so.
I'm a little disappointed that there was a recap episode, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
So, if it makes you feel better, I still haven't watched beyond episode 1 of Blazar because I've been busy and stuff, doing like not being here and trying to keep myself sane. But I do have a very interesting question to ask you, my dear friend. As somebody who did peer pressure you into watching Ultraman, when are you going to watch Orb?
Once Blazer's done airing, I guess. Like, how long does the Ultraman series usually last?
So
I know that we have with our Kamen Rider and our Super Sentai, they're roughly around the 40s to 50s.
So Tali, I'm assuming you've seen a lot more Ultraman than I have, but like everything.
Not really. No. The only series I've ever seen to completion was Orb, and yeah.
So, to my knowledge, every Ultra series, I think since 2008, is 25 episodes. Let me check. Hold on a second.
Let me pull out my bot set real quick. I have...
Because Orb's 25 episodes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was going to say 36, but that... Let's see.
I'm checking X real quick. So X is 22.
25 plus movies, which this disc only has one of them on.
Really?
And then Ginga and Ginga X are a little weird. Then you have Ultra 7X and Mebius. So yeah, so everything I want to say post Ginga is 25 episodes. And you watch them completely legally and free on Tubi.tv.
Which is how I'm very slowly making my way through Tiga.
I own Tiga on DVD. I haven't opened that yet. I also own Gaia. I also own, Dinah. I own Orb. I own G. I own X. And I own Root. And I also have 3 more coming to me from Genix. So Genix, thank you. You are a god. You are God tier. Anyway, we are here to not discuss Ultraman because, as we've established here, I'm a horrible influence, and so is Vaughn. What's it called? Like, there's only so much I can do to make people spend money. Vaughn's the master of that. Let's be real here. No, but we're here to talk about something that will be killing Reggie's wallet: Kamen Rider Gotchard, aka the 5th Reiwa era Kamen Rider series. And I'm actually going to use some of my card game expertise to give you guys some recommendations for protection for your cards. But before we get to any of that, Reggie, did you finally watch Shin Kamen Rider?
Yes, I did. So I was unfortunately unable to go to either of the premieres, so the Japanese English sub or the English dub, because both of them happen to fall on work days. So because the only theater that's showing around here was Fresno, so I was like a full hour away. So being how I kind of am right now, like whole diet and exercise thing, I got to make sure I plan my meals at the right time. That kind of was a factor of not wanting to drive all the way there for like over an hour to try and get to a theater that I don't even know where it's at. So I had to wait until it came up on Prime Video, which luckily enough it did on July 21st. And yeah, as soon as that loaded, I watched it. Like it was 5 in the morning or something when I finally saw that it was like up. So I was like, yay, click. So yeah, I've finally got to see it. I did like it. I know that there were some issues that people had with pacing. I could see that. The final fight, there was a segment that was pretty underwhelming. I think you guys know which part I'm talking about, but overall, it was a good movie. I think it was enjoyable. I know, like when I mentioned it, my parents were like, "Oh, let's watch it together," and then I know my mom doesn't really like gore, so it's like, probably not. And it's kind of funny because we watched Zom 100 yesterday, the live action version, and she watched all the way through. So, but yeah, good enjoyable movie.
I am very glad you enjoyed it because it's like I said when we recorded a couple of months ago. God, it's been so long already.
Don't remind me.
Around 3 months.
What is time anymore? But anyway, I took my buddy Sean to see it. His only exposure to Kamen Rider was one episode of 01 that he laughed off. And he said it was amazing. So, and I said, not all Kamen Rider series are like this, but I will say this much though. The action is just fantastic. Hideaki knocked it out of the park. But anyway, enough stalling. So, Kamen Rider Gotchard. I'm going to present my screen. No.
Meanwhile, Gary gets the news up. What was your guys' first impression, though, when we got the Gotchard announcement and kind of the first visual of it?
I will say this much. I literally said to anybody who can afford to do it, have fun collecting everything.
When we get to the part about how to collect or the sets and everything, release dates and stuff like that, I have all the information, which is sad to say. But, it's one of those things where, like, I was going to check out collecting DX stuff for the year. After going pretty much almost all in on Geats, minus the weapons. I really wanted to try and take a break, see collectible cards, and while it's still kind of big, it's actually a more compact driver. That did not help either. So, and then of course they had to do it where it's another pre-order bonus that's tied into the previous series. It's like, seriously, why? I mean, I hope I get it. That's the thing too, because like that's unfortunate if I don't. Then I have to track that down. But yeah, as we both know, as we all know, I say both. I forgot. Yeah, more than just the two of us as usual, Gary. But as we all know, the Gotchard driver, which Gary has right up right now, it's pretty much another 2-piece Kamen Rider belt. So kind of following along the lines of double build, Geats technically. We have 2 red Kemi cards that go into the driver, push them aside or pull the sides, merge in, form an image. There you go, you got Gotchard. Cards are pretty much basically similar to the red cards where they have a barcode on them on the side, barcode on the bottom. Difference there being is that from what I've seen, cards don't work interchangeably between Gotchard and Decade, so unfortunately there have been people who have modded them to do so, but they aren't able to. But yeah, the Gotchard driver itself comes out September 2nd in Japan, along with this Gotchard card holder set. See up here.
Yeah, so
Or
you get all these cards, and you get his dual disc.
Essentially, it's a dual disc. Only it's a Duelist Kingdom dual disc where he's only able to play one at a time.
Oh.
But yeah, so as you can see with the cards, like I said, they have barcodes, 2 on the side, one in the middle. I think the two on the sides that we can interchange them. Although, yeah, actually, it'll still work because the images are typographed on both sides. But yeah, from what we've seen from Nightmares Road, how do you pronounce this username? But well, somebody on Twitter, I'll post the link probably later. He managed to actually find the set early. So set 0-0. So the thing with this is like because it is a trading card game. Well, they market it as a trading card game. They have booster boxes. Yay! Each individual pack itself will come out at 100 yen or 200 yen. 100 yen.
110 to 220 yen, according to TCG. I mean, to Tokunation.
The overall like box sets, though, like the individual cards. Okay, the individual card packs. Yeah, so roughly around that range, 110 to 230. So there are currently 3 known sets that are coming out. The most recent, the first one actually was set 0-0, which is like a premiere or preview kind of card set where you have pretty much the basic cards you can get. That card set came with 30 packs, and each card pack only had 3 cards. But what we at least know is that of the like 15, I think so, Kamen Rider cards that were in there, like Legend Rider cards, they're pretty much guaranteed. So you will have like possibly some extras. Or no, it's 25, I think, 25 Rider cards. But yeah, that's another thing that just came up and popped up. Ride Kemi cards. Tali-kun. These are alt art cards, essentially. Basically, you get like a little baby Hopper 1 in Steamliner. Then just a Commantis card. I think this one's supposed to be like hollow. Because I have to double check Commantis and see what's the difference between it. But yeah, like with Build, you have the card pairs and things like that, 1s and 9s to add up to 10, which is kind of funny. Like then you think of the whole Decade rumor that came out, but set 0-0, set 0-1, and set 0-2 of the Right Kemi card sets went up on Tokullectibles one random like Tuesday morning and sold out almost immediately. To the point that everybody was going like, "What the heck?" They didn't even announce it. When they did announce it, the announcement popped up like probably because they had timed it, but they didn't disable the pages, so people were able to just order them straight through. So they had to double check their allotment. Which when I talked with Tokullectibles actually, like the day of, because I mentioned like I'm just trying to aim for set 0-1 because set 0-1 has O's cards. They mentioned they managed to get at least 50 of each additional for each set. That sold out in like less than 5 minutes. Now, the primary thing there though is that people were, people were buying multiples of the boxes. So because there was no order limit, so people were buying like 3 of them, like at a time. That was until our like I mentioned, the Twitter user who bought the box set managed to show the drop rates for Z00, which made everybody who bought multiples of Z00 instantly regret it. Because you can basically complete Z00 with just 1 box. So I did not get Z00 immediately. I had to wait until Kotetsu JP. So Taka, when he put it up on his site, like I was able to get a box set from there. But I only got a box set. But like I said, that's a box set of 30 packs, 3 cards per pack. You can pretty much complete the collection there because that's 90 cards, 25 total different cards. But yeah, the second one, set 0-1, which comes out at the end of September, that one though has about 88 cards, but only 20 packs per box. But at least in those packs, you get 5 per pack. So there's a slight better chance you might be able to complete it, but at the same time, those Legend parallel rares, like I mentioned, O's is one of them that has like an alternate art that's like really gorgeous. That's why you would want to try and get multiples of 0-1, 0-2 because of the variance and how many other cards there can be compared to set 0-0. So set 0-2 though comes out in November. So I pretty much got 1 of each for those box sets. I got 2 of set 0-1 though because I really want to try and get that O's one, and then any of the extra to trade to other friends. Because that's another thing you can do with these cards is they can trade them with people. But it's also a risk if you try to go all in. honestly, for me, if I can get one of each type, that's more what I want to do. Um, but for when it comes to the rares, though, O's is the one I'm definitely going to try to aim for. I don't care if I get the other like rider ones. If I do get any of the rider ones, I can easily get those, but I never get those, and I'm going to go like, can we trade you this one for this one? Look at that.
So before I say my spiel, Tali, what do you think? Like, what were your initial thoughts on Gotchard and trading cards, and how broke are you going to go?
Not very. I know from my Yu-Gi-Oh days exactly how dangerous trading cards are to me, and the most I will do is occasionally. Occasionally, I will go for in regards to Yu-Gi-Oh, a particular archetype, usually Dark Magicians. If there's a new one with a nice artwork that I like, maybe try and pick it up if it's not too expensive. I do collect the Kamen Rider cards from time to time, just because those are really neat and inexpensive. And if I'm getting something through Mandarake, I'll throw some in, some for myself, and as Reggie can attest, some to just pass around at the holidays. Because again, they're cheap, they're small, make nice little display pieces. That being said, so yeah, I'm not going near Gotchard as far as collecting goes. As far as my first impressions of the show and Rider itself, okay, it's going to surprise absolutely no one, Reg in particular here, but I am absolutely thrilled that we are doing another blue lead Rider, because I've said this for a while. I feel like Showa was defined by green, Heisei was defined by red. I feel like Reiwa should be defined by a different color. Not necessarily blue, but certainly something different. And well, what, we haven't had a blue lead since Gaim?
Yeah.
Thank you, dear. My girlfriend's off in the office feeding back to me.
And
But yeah.
because so far with the Reiwa series, we've had yellow, green, we've had red and white and black, we've had pink, blue, purple, and then Geats we went back to white, black, red. So yeah, now we have like a very nice metallic blue, and we lost Gary. Yay!
What to do now? Anyway, so it's. I will say this: the design is very it's an interesting hodgepodge. As you said, it channels build in a lot of ways, and I don't necessarily hate it. As with most Rider designs these days, it's basically since ever. It takes a while to get used to, and it's definitely something that I really want to see in action. I don't hate it. I definitely have my design preferences, but it looks interesting. I'll give it a try. I am interested that they seem to be revisiting Wizard in a way with the alchemy and everything, and particular the rings. I want to see if something comes of that. And the thing that caught my attention, what you said earlier about the cards adding up to 10, if they're actually going to build up to like a blackjack type form where you have to add up to 21 or something.
That'd be pretty cool. Like, especially if they decide to. Well, John, they can't really. If they had like, oh yeah, we actually have, because they say in the show the premise is he has to gather the 101 right Kimi cards. It would have been funny if he did get if it was 104, say he could play 52 pickup.
See, but see, here's the thing though. Now he has to go to Traverse Town. He has to go to the deep jungle, 100 Acre Woods, and find all the keyholes. By the way, I died. Also, hi Lonnie. Sorry. So Sorry, I missed your conversation about that,
So,
Tali. I really do apologize, but
It's all
my
right.
internet just randomly crapped out.
I was just
So
rambling, so don't worry about it.
all right, I just want to
no,
give my quick thoughts here as well. I play Vanguard, and I play this deck, which is Ghost, and then shout out to Collector Shuki because no, that's my Thunder Dragons. That's magic. Here we go. I want to show this to Reggie because I think he'll appreciate it. This is also a deck that I'm trying to convince Shuki to play. Hi, I'm a panda.
that's a panda.
So it's like I said at the beginning, when they announced that the next Rider series was trading card themed, I'm like, so we're gonna have a repeat of what happened back in the COVID days, with everybody and their mother trying to just buy out people's stock of the cards. And
So-
boy, was I right.
Well, the thing here is that unlike what happened with, during the pandemic, was those cards were readily available pretty much everywhere, so everybody was able to grab as many as they could, compared to what was Gotchard, because that's a Japanese import. Because, as I mentioned, the Gotchard driver is going to come out on September 2nd, but has been confirmed for a U.S. release. So technically, it would likely come probably the month after, so maybe in October. The issue there, though, is that we've only gotten confirmation of the driver itself, nothing about the rest of the cards, which is unfortunate because you're basically limited to what the driver comes from. And we don't even know if they got a hold of that driver holder set, because the driver itself, I think, only comes with 4 or 5 cards, while the holder set gives you at least 9 or 10. So that's the thing there.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can confirm it, because there are some, retailer stores, like, well, I say retailer, online retailer stores. There are some hobby stores that might be able to carry them. Maybe if they team up with Diamond, like for comic book stores, you can have them distribute there. But we'll see how it goes. Right now, shameless plug, usual plug. We always go through Tokullectibles. That's where I usually get myself. Anyway. That's where I go.
Yeah.
It's my first, or my 0-1 and 0-2 sets for the cards. I did not get 0-0, unfortunately. And yeah, you can see that they have a wide variety of things, because there's another thing I'll bring up, is that there's secondary Rider cards that are available with the Shoto figures.
And that is just evil, because I did lie. The Vulcan and Brave cards in particular do catch my eye, but I do not have any way to justify getting a Shoto set at this point.
Yeah, so if anything, I may try talking with our friend Cosmos to see if they want the figures. I can just keep the cards.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, because again, more things about cards not being released just in packs or with figures or with the weapons. They're also doing the whole Choco Wafer collectible card thing.
Son of a...
Yeah, so what we know, at least for there, I think it's also secondary Riders. But yeah, those... if you have a Japanese grocery store, maybe you might be able to find one, but... Yeah, because I haven't seen any other websites list anything up yet. Like, I haven't seen anything, well, in particular for that. Usually Candy Toys will go up on like places like AmiAmi or HLJ, but so far nothing yet. AmiAmi actually hasn't listed any of the Gotchard stuff outside of AmiAmi Japan. Like, AmiAmi.com has not put up anything Gotchard, which is very surprising, especially with 0-0 coming out, like, what, 2 days ago?
I was just thinking about something, because I'm in New York, and I know there's a Mitsuo marketplace about an hour and 20 minutes from here in New Jersey. If you guys have a Mitsuo marketplace, you may have access to the Gotchard cards at least. But also something else I wanted to bring up regarding the, first of all, it's 2023 and we're getting Shochaku Henshin figures again.
So for those who don't know, Shochaku Henshin was kind of the precursor to SH Figure Arts. It was basically an armor line with very, very tiny deformed heads.
Nothing to hear about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
So now we're finally back with Shochaku Henshin, or at least the branding of Shochaku Henshin, because we've had so many different gimmick lines throughout the years. Like the W form change or W change form, WFC or WCF. It's one of those two.
I think it's WFC.
Theo's combo change series, Forze's module series, Wizards style, which is basically just light up eyes for the initial ones. But then they did have the All Dragon stuff. We had Gaim's armor change series with the fruits. Drive's Tired Kokon series. As you can see, it got very gimmicky as they went on, but they kept changing the name of it. So we did have, Ghost hoodies, X-Aids Level Up series. Builds also was like just a form change series, I think. And then we shrunk down for the Rider Kick series for Geo, and then also 01.
Yeah,
and then I don't think we had. Do we have Saber gimmick figures? I can't remember.
Yes, sort of.
Yeah.
I think.
I think the only ones they did was I think they did Saber. I think they did Blades. I know for a fact
Saber, Caliber, Draconic Knight. I think those are the ones that only got figures in that.
And part. I know they did Excalibur, like the King Arthur sword.
Oh, King of Arthur, yeah. And then Revice came back with still the same smaller series or smaller figures, but they at least had the whole combination for like the T-Rex, the shark, and things like that. So coming back into this, and of course Geats. Geats did upscale theirs a bit to kind of
all change. I still want to pick a couple of those up.
I need the bike.
But so something I want to bring up regarding the Shochaku Henshin figures is these remind me of from Digimon Season 4, and I can't unsee it now. Do you guys remember the Spirits of the Ancient Warriors?
Yes, and I can totally see it with the very bottom one with Ari or Ant Wrestler. That one.
Beetlemon.
Yep. And the fact that we also get like Seam Hopper honestly looks like 01's like little hopper that pops out whenever he transforms. It's very fun looking figure. Those especially who like armor changing and things like that for their figures, I think they're gonna enjoy that. I just really want to see what the scale it is of it is first, so to see if it's maybe potentially worth it. At the same time, I'm waiting to see what they do with those HP awards because of Gotchard's armor finish. It's like a chrome blue. Like, how are we gonna handle that?
So I know I don't have anything Gotcharder on the screen. I just want to just bring this up one more time because I can.
Okay.
Why?
Money.
Why does it exist, or what? What's the context here? What's the question?
Why does it? Like, I understand, like it's all for Hideaki Anno projects, but
because the man is an absolute lunatic, and he has leverage on someone. That is the only conclusion I can draw.
Again, my reasoning is just money. You ever see a SpongeBob movie? It's Mr. Krabs. Money.
I like money.
Why'd you money?
So yeah,
it's a fun little gimmick thing, man. Just
I would not use the word "little" in regards to this.
Well, I mean, just the thought of it, like, because whenever you have these like superheroes and like these awesome giant mecha monsters, there's a lot of people who have like the kind of imagination of combining things and making things like somehow like incredible. I mean, in their minds, looks incredible. I mean, it probably would have been cool if this could have been like a whole armor thing, if possible. Like, you get like Godzilla with Eva 1's like armor, and like maybe like something to go around it. Like if it was just like it wasn't like a Zord like mech, if it was maybe just like some sort of combined form for them to either make like something a little more uniform than kind of what we're getting here, because the physical suit itself that we saw in the commercial, at least looks somewhat okay. It's just
Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's $235. It's bigger than a leader class transformer nowadays. I want to see reviews so badly, but it's not until January. If this is still up for pre-order in December, I may do it.
for yourself.
Because here's the thing that I could say. This is the only time where you can get a figure of Ava 1, Shin Ultraman, Shin Kamen Rider, and Shin Godzilla that combines into a giant effing robot.
Like,
Yeah,
honestly, I'm worried about the stability of that thing. Like when you actually put it all together, how how stable will it actually be?
Again, this is something that I'd probably be more on board with if they did like a vinyl of it, because I share the concern of how likely is this thing to collapse under its own weight.
And also, the combination system, do we know if it's pegs? Do we know if it's clips? Like,
That too.
so we basically, we go back onto the Gotchard process. We got the press conference this past week, and we got to learn more details of things. So
Gotchard's real name is Hotaro Ichinose. He's played by Motojima Jinsei. He's a high school student supporting his mother and their family restaurant while looking for a skill to properly call his own. One day, as you do, Hotaro discovers the Alchemy Academy hidden in his school, which just makes me chuckle. Because now I'm just thinking like Harry Potter or Full Metal Alchemist crossover, where Harry Potter ditches a whole magic thing, he just becomes an alchemist, and he's better than Edward Elric because he's not voiced by Phenomena.
we don't talk about him.
There.
Dragonville is what I call him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, we're back to a high schooler. This is another thing where we're getting an inexperienced Kamen Rider. So as we look in the Rainbow series, we had Aruto inexperienced, but then he got pretty much all the experience brought into his mind thanks to Zaya. We had Toma, who I guess it's kind of like his imagination kind of helped along with him, kind of getting up to there. We had Ikki, who he was an athletic person, before his accident or with this thing, though like he couldn't play anymore. So he at least had that physicality. And then we had Ace, who was basically like a veteran of like 2,000 plus years of playing DGP over and over again. So it's really cool to see that we're getting back to a naive newcomer, basically somebody who doesn't know what's going on, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like, especially since he had.
And then joining Gotchard is Kudo Rin, played by Matsumoto Reo, who's Hotaro's best friend, a top student in their high school and alchemy classes. She is the daughter of a legendary alchemist named Fuga, not to be confused with Kuga or Juga, who stole the original Chemi cards 10 years before the series began. So I kind of like that we're getting a secondary protagonist who has a personal connection to the Chemi cards, and she's pretty much going to be like the mentor, so to speak, in the ways of the Force. I mean, the alchemy.
So that's because if we look back again, like I'm saying, I would say that the only like secondary person or mentorish person, technically Rintaro kind of was to Toma, because he at least knew like how the Wonder Ride stuff worked. But because if we look at our secondaries, like Vulcan, basically his whole thing was just like, I'm gonna crack this thing open, I'm gonna use it.
Or like Gaze from Geo, because he was the one who had to explain to to Silvo how to use their eye watches, or like when to
I was thinking back to the past, Reiwa series that we got, because like Keiwa was basically, I don't know what's going on, but he did have technically a personal connection to the DGP, but he just didn't know it. But Yeah, so it's kind of cool that we are getting that like mentorish person. And
Yeah.
I know
Then we
there's gonna be
have
a lot of people are gonna be like, "Writer when? When's she gonna be a writer?" Which I hope if they do, she like can go along the lines of like Jean with Sakura, kind of, and
yeah.
I think also Neon too. Like, even though they did kind of shift Neon's focus off until like they got to the part of the JGP, but
Yeah. And then we have Yasunari Fujibayashi, who's going to be playing the Stern Series Alchemy Academy graduate Spana Kuragane, possessing the power to transform into an elite warrior known as Valvarad. So he's not a Kamen Rider.
he's not.
Just call him
He's
Valvarad.
kind of along. He's kind of along the lines of Machine Chaser. Kind of being that like uses the same kind of power set, but not technically a rider. It could be in a way that his gear might be like a prototype to the Gotchard stuff or something like that, or maybe it's something that he was creating on his own, considering that they say that he is a graduate. But I laugh at the name of it though, Valvarad, because it makes you think of like Valvoline. So it's like not a sponsor. Give you something he says, but it's that really cool, like magenta-ish, like kind of a deep, like pinkish kind of warrior that we saw. Again, like Machine Chaser looks like could have been like a car wreck, but pulls it off in a really good way. And like his transformation device, I think, is like a wrench like looking thing. So that's pretty cool.
Then we have Alchemy Academy tutors Abayotsu and Sabimaru. Great name. Sabimaru Tsuruhaya, played by Ichigo Renge and Ichigo Renge and Rikia Tomizono, respectively. They'll teach Hotaro and Rin on the properties of the Chemi cards. So it's pretty much Dumbledore and McGonagall from Harry Potter, or Mustang and I don't know who another Street Alchemist was. Oh, Armstrong from FMA.
How could you forget the muscles, man?
To be fair, I've only ever seen like one episode of Fullmetal Alchemist, and it's the episode everyone always memes. But more importantly, the main villains of this season are a group known as the Three Sisters of Darkness, consisting of Atropos, Croto, and Lachesis, played by Gina Okita, Kanon Miyahara, and Arisa Sakami, respectively. The sisters are powerful alchemists who seek the Chemi cards for their own agenda.
So, fun fact about them, they're named after the Fates.
So you're telling me, hold on a second. So you're telling me we're getting references to Greek mythology.
Yeah.
So
I think that like isn't Greece kind of where the whole idea of alchemy kind of originated from?
Yeah, more or less. I know it's.
And then we get a lot of like stories of creating things out of nothing, kind of like or sacrifices and changes of things like. Because am I wrong? Is Midas Greek mythology?
Midas is Greek, yes.
Yeah. So the whole thought of he trades off getting gold, but whatever he touches turns to gold. Like that's kind of a thought of an alchemy, like the idea of equivalent exchange in a way. But that kind of makes sense that they would put them in there. At the same time, because when I found out they're named after the face, I'm kind of hoping we do see like somebody above them that's like a Hades situation.
Yeah. Well, Greek mythology being as complex as it is, Hades wasn't necessarily a bad guy. In fact, he was one of the less malevolent gods. Zeus was actually a bigger asshole than he was.
So we could actually maybe see somebody in the Alchemy Academy turning out to be a big bad.
Yeah, that's...
Depending if they decide to go with that situation. If they just don't decide, like, hey, we're just going to take these names because they sound cool. But...
So what I'm hearing is we don't see, oh my God, James was in this show. It's a failure. because they're
I mean,
doing
if James Woods is in anything, I consider it a failure at this point. But
right.
anyway,
Right.
no.
I was trying to make a Disney Hercules joke.
That's fair. But
Like, yeah, I think I read correctly. I read before that Hades pretty much followed his role, like what he was supposed to do, compared to Zeus just literally effing around and finding out. And somehow we still champion Zeus over that.
See, what's even crazier is though. So
speak
I
for
don't know if you
yourself.
guys
I'm a follower of Apollo and Neptune.
So
And,
first of all,
Mercury. Sorry, go ahead.
So no, you're fine. I was about to say Hades is a great game that everyone should be playing. It's on like a lot of consoles. Hades was also not in Hercules Legendary Journeys, but that's also a really good show, including the prequel that has a young Ryan Gosling and a special appearance by one Michael Hurst, aka one of the directors for a bunch of New Zealand Power Ranger series. That's besides the point,
Speaking of
though.
which, remind me, who actually produced the Young Hercules series? What was the production company behind it?
I believe it was Chaim Saban.
Huh. We have come full circle, people.
So I have a quick side tangent about that show, if I may. That
right ahead.
That show I consider Tokusatsu because it was made by Saban. It had, I believe it was also Hercules and Xena, the two shows that came before it, were directed by little known director Sam Raimi.
So Sam Raimi. Where do I know that name? Didn't he work with Bruce Campbell once upon a time? What? Wait. Didn't he pop up in some of the shows from time to? I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah, Reggie. Sorry. We're
yeah, you're really diverging there, man. I know I brought up the fact of Greek mythology and stuff, but somehow we ended up with the director of Evil Dead.
It's Spider-Man.
You cannot escape the chin. You cannot escape the chin. I'm sorry, Reg. That it's a simple fact of life.
No, like I was really looking forward to kind of us getting back on like an actual pathway of things that I see that we're still the same as ever.
I'm trying, Reggie. I'm trying, but anyway. So the main theme song is going to be it's called Kemi X Story, and will be formed by the group Back On. And once this was announced, Cal lost his damn mind.
I mean, basically, though, it might just be called Kemi Story. Like, a lot of times they don't even pronounce the X. It's just that in there. Man. Okay, yeah. No, don't go down to the comments. Just...
All right. There's that. So we already did discuss these.
We basically talked about that. So pretty much most of the stuff comes out September 2nd.
Yeah, and this is the wrench and the wrench.
The Valve Rusher. Okay, yeah. So most of things, Valve Rad will be using mostly the vehicle-based cards.
Yeah, and also
Gotchard is
also Monkey.
Oh, Gorilla Sensei. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Gorilla Sensei.
This is a slight tangent, though. This is what I'm going to do a slight tangent. There's actually I think Gorilla Sensei and a lot of manga is basically, that's pretty much a term to describe the gym teacher or somebody that's really muscle-headed. There's actually a whole manga series where it says the gym teacher is going to die or something. And it's a horror series where he basically is the only person that dies first, every single chapter. So that's why I kind of laughed when I heard the name Gorilla Sensei.
So I kind of want this card now for my monkey shelf. I have
it. Depending on how many extras I get in the packs, man, just I'll let you know.
So, like I said, I'm also before when we're in the in between section of the show between the other news that's not Gotchard related and Gotchard, I'm going to give you guys some quick tips regarding organizing and storing your cards because that's my area of expertise when it comes to this stuff. And then you will then call me Gorilla Sensei because I am a gorilla. Anyway, so this all looks really cool. I will be buying none of it because, as we established, I still don't have a job and I need to save money. And It does look cool though, and Reggie, I promise you, I will try to keep up with this show.
Please.
Uh,
But yeah, but speaking about card safety though, there was one image that Gary did show, which is Gotchard's gun, which is like the most anti-card safety thing ever, because you load the cards in there and then you shoot them at a wall or shoot them at people.
Wait, really?
So, yeah, it's a launching thing. So you load them in the bag and then. So yeah, that's like, I guess that's what people might do with their extras. But yeah, it's like most like funny anti card protection thing you ever seen.
Okay.
Okay, so
like,
what you do is that you just load that with poker cards, and there you go. You're good to go at any convention or any other place where you would need to shoot someone with cards.
Yeah. So these are the scans. They're all on Token Nation. Thank you. Shout out to the team over there. Paladin, Token Chris, Reggie, Boy Toast, and
I just
everybody
share
else.
news, to be honest. Like, I don't post anything anymore.
I
think it's primarily because I forgot what my WordPress password is.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so these are all fresh and new and exciting, and this show's gonna be fun. And from your plan, I'm not gonna be home. But real quick, before we get into any other further news, I want to just use my expertise with card games, like I said, and show you guys some good sleeves I recommend, because there are going to be people who just want the cards and not the toys. So I'm going to go to the land of Bezos, because reasons crap, yes, is where I live.
So, just a little quick thing, because we did have our friend Vaughn kind of show off some transparent sleeves that are out there. I think they're like only $5 to $6. They're good to use for the Gotchard cards if you want to use them with the driver. But the thing is that I think they're thick enough that you can't slide out the cards using the ejection mechanism that's in the driver. You actually have to pull them out yourself.
Oh,
Just the one thing.
So,
I mean, I'll double check with when I get the driver in and I get some extra cards. I'll get those sleeves and I'll see like how bad it is with some of my extra cards. But if you just are collecting, this is where Gary comes in.
yes, hi, I'm Professor Gary. Welcome to my TED Talk. So I highly recommend Dragon Shield sleeves. These are like the toughest card sleeves on the market. For anybody who plays Vanguard like me, Yu-Gi-Oh, they come in small sizes. But for the purposes of this video, of this line, sorry, they come in standard size card sleeves, which are good for Pokemon, Magic, Battle Spirits, which is actually relevant to the news lately. But I highly recommend these. I use these on every Vanguard deck I build, and you can either get like I'm going to just show you guys something real quick regarding the different types of sleeves, because I wish we were sponsored. I love using Dragon Shield sleeves.
Yeah, so with Gary's recommendation, this is definitely going to work out though for the Gotchard cards, because unlike the Decade cards, which came with a Neo-Deca driver and Neo-Den driver, which are kind of like a plastic material, we've confirmed from that one Twitter user whose name still escapes me. I think his Nightmares Robio.
In our box,
that the Gotchard cards are kind of the traditional cardboard-ish that you get like with Yu-Gi-Oh cards back in the day, and Pokemon cards. So that's where you need to have some protection there. But.
So real quick, there's two types of Dragon Shield sleeves, by the way. There's the regular ones that don't have that are just a single layer of like plastic versus like the background, and these are good. I use these for a couple of my Vanguard decks, but the ones that I'm using now are the dual nets. So there's two layers of protection. Like there's like the solid back here and a solid black back. This was done mostly because a lot of people were complaining that you can't use like white sleeves or orange sleeves on your cards because you can see the back of the card, and that's considered cheating in most card games. So I highly recommend Dragon Shield sleeves, but also, let's say you're not buying the belt for whatever reason, but shame on you, because you should be buying the belt, because then you can make lovely noises and wake up your parents at 4 in the morning. We here at Bugz2Men do not condone that. I highly recommend you guys grab a binder. Once again, not sponsored, which we were. Um, Dragon Shield makes very good binders.
Yeah, that actually has me curious that we have not gotten any word yet on a Gotchard card binder. I feel like they're gonna make. They're definitely gonna make one. It's definitely gonna be Gotchard themed. It's probably gonna be like some sort of like tablet thing that we see in the show, and then they're gonna have it be like with like a power up card or something like that. Because I mean, we did get like card binder. We did get a card binder with the gimmick stuff back with Build.
Yeah.
I think that was that Kabuto camera? I think came with them. Yeah, Kabuto camera. I think came with that one, or was it? Because I had all those bottles before, so I'm trying to remember like which came with what. But I do know that that was the last time we actually got like a card binder with the gimmick item. But
yeah, so I know with the CSM DN drive that I have, I also bought the card binder that comes with another DN card. But these are pricey. I'll be the first one to admit that you're getting extremely strong quality. Depending on the size, right? These can hold standard size cards. You can hold up to 360 cards and 20 pages, and they're all side loading pockets. So you're not loading them in from the top, you're loading them in from the side, so everything will stay in better. Also, there's a little strap over here where you can just seal it up. If you're planning on buying singles, I highly recommend getting one other thing. Top loaders. With top loaders, you can get a crap ton of them for really cheap. Doesn't matter. You can go BCW, you can go Ultra Pro. But these are hard shells where you can protect your cards in transit. So like let's say me and Reggie are trading, I make sure I get a top loader so he can protect the cards that I send him as well as what he sends me. It helps, trust me. So I've gotten card orders in the mail where they didn't use top loaders and my cards getting damaged.
it's like my buddy Michael, Pokemon Master. Whenever he sent me like some cards, like he sent me a Cyndaquil and Typhlosion because he knows those are my favorite Pokemon. He included those, so that kind of helps. That really helps out. Yeah, I feel like in regards to the singles market for these kind of cards, I think it's there, but I feel like it's gonna be pretty high for those parallel rares, depending on how the drop rates are. Like I said, when 01 comes out, I got 2 of those boxes, so we'll see how the pull rates are.
I also recommend these. These are 1,000-count storage boxes. You can get them for anywhere from $6 to $12, but it's literally just a giant, long, rectangular box for your cards.
If you're one of those people like me that collects the Pokemon Elite Trainer boxes, you can potentially also use those for storage.
You can
because they are sturdy.
By the way, Reggie, just in case you think that like you're gonna start going crazy when it comes to variants of cards, I want to show you one thing in particular from Vanguard, and then we're gonna move on to other topics. So the most recent set just came out, right? This is a card that I want. However, I'm not going to be paying over $200 for it. Here we go. It's right here. Oh, it's $300 now. I'm not paying $300 for it. It's a really good card, but I'm not paying $300 for it. Anyway, that's no trading card talk today, brought to you by TCGplayer.com. Not sponsored.
Because there are like multiple tiers of rarity with the Gotchard cards.
Yeah.
Let me just see. I have like somebody actually created a list of everything that's coming out, which is impressive. Yeah, we have common, rare, super rare, ultra rare, legend rare, parallel rare, and parallel legend rare. So, yeah,
you have more. You have too many rarities there, dude.
Yeah, so
that's approaching Yu-Gi-Oh territory as far as too many freaking rarity. God.
So I'm gonna assume that super rare is like just a slight variation. Oh, there's also an extra rare. What the heck is extra rare? But basically, like it's common. You have rare, which is like probably just like maybe a little character color difference for the like font. You have like super rare, which is probably like a little bit of details are hollowed out. Ultra probably more hollowed out. Legend rare is for the legend riders. So those are like the probably one in something number that you can get in the pack. And then parallel rare is the one that has the alt art, and then parallel legend rare is the alt art legend rider. So yeah, 88 different variants of cards in set 01, or 88 cards in set 01. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So real quick, I also just wanted to say the biggest difference between like Vanguard and Gotchard is, as of right now, we don't know what the card game is going to be for Gotchard. Whereas with Vanguard, you have a card game unto itself and an anime. And Reggie, this is something I actually wanted to ask you in particular while we wait, because Tali had to step out for a moment.
Mhm.
So we're going to be I just want to gauge your opinion on a couple of things regarding, I guess, not only the chart but also Geese as well, because I do fully intend to go back and watch some Geese. How like crazy are you gonna go with collecting the cards from the chart?
So like I said, I'm gonna try to at least get one of the 101. Like just I don't care if it's like the parallel rare or the legend rare or the parallel rare, or ultra rare, whatever variant of that. As long as I can get one of each of the 101, because like that's simple enough. You can find people that are probably gonna buy a lot of boxes, get extras of the the 101 actual in-show cards, and just trade off with them. Like I said, the O's cards though, like we know that we're getting at least two of O's cards. We're getting the legend rare, and then we're getting the parallel legend rare, which is the alt art one. But if we end up getting like other cards like that, like if we get form cards, like that's another thing. If we end up getting 4 legend rider cards, like that's something that may go heavy into. Because well, too bad Tali stepped aside, because I finally figured out what the wafer legend rider cards are going to be. So G3, Kaisa, Zeranos, and Cross Z or Cross.
I want the Zeranos card. Speaking of Zeranos, can we just quickly talk about Outsiders for 1 second?
Sure, but let me just real quick go over the other cards. So, like I said, we know from Raikemi set 00, we have 01, Saber, Levi, Vice, Glare, Tycoon, Nago, Baraba, Geets, Jean, Buffa, Kyun, Kekara, Gazer, and Gotchard itself. So basically, the most recent Railroad Riders, the primary riders for 01, Saber, and Revice, but then pretty much all the main riders from Geets and then Gotchard itself. And at 01, we'll be getting Kuga, Agito, Fize, Hibiki, Deno, Decade, O's, Wizard, Gaim, and Build. And then we don't know anything about 02 yet because it's way too far off. But the Soto cards are going to be Vulcan, Garen, Ixa, Tien, Axel, Meteor, Mach, and Brave. So we get like almost all of the secondary riders at that point. I think we're just missing Gates from Heisei, I think, or
and Garen.
No, Garen is in the Soto.
Right. So listen, if you get an extra Garen, if anybody who watches this gets a Garen card, hit me up on Twitter. We'll work something out.
So basically, for that though, that's the Soto. So Soto, the boxes for each of the riders to build them up. They're each going to have one card, and it's so you'll have to find the one that comes with Garen, which isn't listed on here, but it's going to be one of those boxes. So you may end up getting like because I think that's a set with Gotchard, Geets, Mark 9, and Bujin Sword Tycoon. So you're probably going to get somebody's like legs or torso or something with that.
I will say this much: I haven't watched pretty much anything from Geets except for like the first episode. I love Bujin Sword's design.
It is a wonderful design. and it serves for like the whole antithesis of what Cable wanted to be, because essentially, he wanted in the beginning power to not really power. He just wanted, to make world like a peaceful world.
Yeah.
The Bujin sword is basically him saying, now I'm gonna use what I'm gonna take technically to then make that peaceful world with my power. Like, so basically, he was going to like pretty much take what he thought of, and instead of it being like a peaceful world for all, he just wanted a peaceful world for his family. Is what he wanted to kind of go along with that line. But that's, if we ever get into more Geats discussion, that's something I want to talk about, especially with like the most recent episode was Kawa focused, which is also kind of ironic considering that like this is where he goes back to being the heroic character that ironically his sponsor wanted him to be, but then try to manipulate him in the wrong way to get to that point. But so Tally's back. So Tally, I don't know if you heard me, but found out what was in the wafer cards. So the Legend Riders there are G3, Kaisa, Zeronos, and Cross. So I don't know if your girlfriend wants Kaisa's card, but that's how she's going to be able to get it, is through the wafers. Because I know that your girlfriend loves Kaisa. Tap, tap, tap. I think that's Morse code.
So that when I was to Dexter's laboratory where they communicate through tapping the pencil.
Yeah.
And he's one guy really angry.
Yeah, like I said, Gary, unlike with Geats, where I was getting pretty much every buckle and every Rider core ID that I could. With Gotchard, I'm probably just going to limit myself to just the 101 actual show ride gimmick cards. Yeah. And then just Legend Riders, just go for the ones I would like the most, which basically O's. Maybe I'd say it's stuff. It really depends on how the rest of the cards come out. But we'll find out.
Yeah. Here's what I will say also though. With Geats, I know they're doing the whole special buckle for Gotchard.
Yeah, so that's what I mentioned earlier. That's a pre-order, but they did a preview set of the Gotchard driver pre-and Bandai for people to try and get, and that would include the Oneness buckle. The Oneness buckle itself, though, it's a pre-order bonus. So, like I said, guys, wish me luck, because that's pretty much pre-order bonus is always first come, first serve. And I went with the driver through HLJ, which the last time I got a bonus from HLJ was when I got the signal axe from Drive with the photo type speed shift card. That was the last time I ever got a pre-order bonus from getting stuff from HLJ. So again, I got the Gotchard driver the day that HLJ actually listed up the Gotchard driver. So hopefully,
yeah.
Because I know Tokullectibles is not always guaranteed. Like if they get what they can get. So I don't know with them. But yeah, the Oneness buckle though, we've seen what it actually does. Okay, that's fine, Tally. We'll check you back in when you're ready. But yeah, that's why what we've seen with the Oneness buckle though is basically it doesn't activate any actual driver sound outside of I guess a couple of lights. The sounds are primarily in the buckle, and it's rather than actually scanning cards, I think it's a press feature. So put the card in, press. You can basically put any card in there. To be honest, you don't have to put the promo card that comes with it. But so I think that'll actually be a good thing to get one of those clear card sleeves for. Is just put it into there. But like I said, we'll see. Driver, September 2nd. So I'll likely get mine probably 2 weeks later, depending on how quick HLD ships. But yeah.
I had 2 model kits on pre-order through HLJ, and then I had to cancel them because, like I said, still no job, and I don't think the 2 I had on pre-order were going to be incredibly hard to find. One of them was the figurized standard amplified Exodia, because it's Exodia. And I would like to have a display of Optimus Primal facing off against Exodia. That'd be incredibly hilarious to me.
So just based on my experience from when I spent some time in Hawaii, like I saw a lot of the like figurized standard amplified kits, like in that one Don Quixote store that I went to. I feel like that's Exodia is going to be one of the easy ones to find for sure.
I agree. The other one though that I had to cancel, I'm kind of bummed about because so this was last year. I was having the hardest time trying to find the 1/144 scale high grade Gundam Death Scythe from Gundam Wing, like the new one. And I
That's
finally
one of my
found.
favorite. Wow, one of my favorite mobile suits. I just I had that site toys like back when I think they made the American like kind of actual action figure line for Gundam back then.
Oh yeah, the old NSIA line. Yeah,
I think so. But yeah, I never really got back into doing many Gundam model kits. I think I got like maybe one or two to actually build. I do have some kits in our storage shed, but I don't. Yeah, I haven't opened those, so they're completely unbuilt. Unfortunately, I think they are gathering dust in there, so I probably should get in there and clean them up. But
so I bought the Death Scythe Hell on Key Bandai because I love. It's like Reggie said. That's one of the coolest mobile suit designs ever created. Like the OG Death Scythe and the Death Scythe Hell are two of my personal favorite Gundam suits. But the one that I'm bummed that I had to cancel the most was the Epion.
mm-hmm.
Because the Epion design, the fact that you can turn it from a robot, like a mech suit, into a robot like dragon, is awesome. And for anybody who hasn't seen Gundam Wing, it's on Hulu. The only thing you won't be able to find is Endless Waltz, which is a 3-part OVA, and that is a very good OVA to watch. Like, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's a great war story. But yeah, so I had to cancel that. I had to cancel like all my pre-orders. The only pre-order I'm keeping is because some way through hell or high water I'm going to be able to afford it. The Memorial Dino Brace from Auto Ranger.
You got a good amount of time for that one, though, don't you?
That's around the time of our birthday, but the reason why I want it so badly is because Dino Thunder is my favorite Power Ranger season, and I want the Morpher. And plus, I have a sneaking suspicion that any week now we're going to get a listing for new P-Band, like CSM, like Memorial stuff, and we're going to see a Dino Minder, and I don't remember Operate Black's changer name from Auto Ranger, but the Bracking Morpher. And let's be real here, I'm buying it because
That's fair.
I have to. But yeah,
That's not what happened with like the Gotcharder stuff. Like I got the Pirates, I got the Gokai Cellular, the 2Kai unit, the Gokai Saber and gun. Please don't make a Gokai Spear. Please don't make one. I don't know where I put that thing.
Reggie, buddy, I hope you know. Okay, Tali says she thinks she has it working again. Awesome.
All right, let's pop her
If they
back in again.
Yeah, if they do a memorial Gokai Spear that can change into the gun and the anchor and the spear, I will buy it because I need that in my life.
So I mean, they could do it if they figure out how to do a telescoping handle. I think that's basically how they can do it. And make it actually fit. Because I mean, the Gokai Saber box itself is a long box. They could potentially make it that length and have like a second component to just combine it or plug it in.
Tali says ready when you are also.
All right, so just pop her back in. Man,
I can't. It's you.
Okay. There we go. I had full screen, so I did not see.
Oh, it's. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There we go. Just had to unplug my mic and replug it back in. Oh, I hate these things.
And now it's time for
I mean, I work in IT, so I always hear the, hey, like, it's not working. Did you turn it on? Yes. Try turning it on and off again. Yes.
And now
Do you plug it in? Plugged in? There's somebody who, like, okay, this is just a little slight rant, but there was somebody who told me that they told them, like, it's in the computer, and somebody actually opened it up and was like, I don't see it.
Oh no.
But yeah.
So
Yeah, you didn't miss much though, Tali. I talked about where some of the secondary writers are coming from for Gotchard for their write cards.
Yeah. So Kaita is in that set. So we
It's
might
way
try to
over.
pick that one up for her. It's because Kaita
I'll keep eyes out. Like if I can find my way to some of those wafers, then like yeah,
much appreciated.
no problem.
I mean,
Are there any particular ones you're looking for though? Like I was telling Gary when you were off that like I'm primarily just gonna go for the 101 like Ride Kemi cards that are actually in the show, and then just some of the Legend Riders I actually like. So like pretty much everything else is like fair game.
yeah, I mean, you know me. If Gaim pops up, Brave, Vulcan, Knight.
Yeah. So Gaim is in set 01.
Son of a gun.
Like I said though, Tali, I got 2 boxes of that, so there's a good chance if I manage to get Gaim and no extras, you're pretty much top of the list for Gaim. Like I said, I'm probably just gonna keep the ones that I like, the writers that really mean a lot to me. So like Oz is definitely one of those. Because I think I mentioned it's Kuga, Agito Faiz, Hibiki, Decade, Oz. Got the list right here. Why am I trying to remember it? Yeah, so it's Kuga, Agito Faiz, Hibiki, Deno, Decade, Oz, Wizard, Gaim, Build. Those are in the first. That's in set 01.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. So, Gaim, yours if I get one of those. But yeah. So, yeah, we've pretty much talked about Gotchard. We talked about how we kind of, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing the series, how it kind of turns out. The idea of alchemy, and then also seeing because people they leaked the clip of Gotchard's cameo in the Geats movie already online, and he seems fun. But it's gonna be a pretty much CGI heavy series, I feel, because of the whole idea of alchemy. There's only so much you can do. I mean, we kind of. This is just kind of a slight thought. Technically, Kuga was able to use alchemy because he would take like little rail bars and turn them into his like the dragon's like dragon rod. He would take each other's gun to make the
oh my god! Not who not to bring Kuga up around. God help me. If we ever get her on this, this is going to be a bloodbath.
But yeah, like, so technically we've had Kamen Riders that have had a slight variation of alchemy. This is maybe our first alchemy heavy kind of series.
I wonder what the production budget for Gotchard is, because we have the show like King Oger that has a lot of CGI from what I've seen in the mech fights.
Almost all of it's I mean that one is a green screen heavy series too, because like a lot of the kingdoms and stuff like that, they're all just green screen in the background. So
yeah.
But it looks like with Gotchard we are sticking with the whole actually filming on scene location. It's just it's depending on the CGI budget, we'll see how it turns out. But
so here's a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I should go not please finish.
No, I was saying like we'll just see how it goes. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle a lot of this stuff. I will find it funny though if they actually do just for a short segment, like not even include any practical effects. Like if they have the Gotchard gun with shooting the cards out, and they just literally just hit somebody with cards. Like it's like non-lethal attack on somebody. Like just we just test this out. But
what I was gonna say is, how many episodes do you can use this bike? I'm thinking 3.
it really depends on how relevant that bike is, because it looks like it may transform from something. So I'm thinking that this bike is one of the right Kimmy cards, and he uses it, or it's like one of the support gears that they make for the alchemy thing. But yeah, like it could be anywhere from like 3 to 5 minimum. Because at least with Geats, it's that's the thing though, Gary. Though too, is like there's a lot of laws in Japan regarding like customized vehicles being used around, so that's why they don't really use them that often. That's why I think for Reggie and Vice, they had Vice turn into that like hella bike kind of thing. So it's technically not on the ground. It's not obscuring anything. That thing though is kind of cool, but then again, also heavily underutilized. But yeah, we'll see, Gary, how many things we got out there.
All right, is it time to roll into the rest of the news of the week or the past
Because I
month?
think we talked pretty much our thoughts on Gotchard.
Yeah.
Like I said, that show should be coming out soon. All of our merch is coming out September 2nd. So I think September 3rd actually is the year date.
Yeah, it is, which is very fun. And then I hope to be able to watch it on my flight home from where I'm going. So see what happens. Anyway, Reggie, can you present the news window thingy on your end?
Yeah, I gotta exit full screen. I keep putting full screen up so that I can actually see you guys and I can read the screen along with you. So
Okay, so we're going to start off with a literal bang. This was announced at SDCC. There's a couple SDCC news stories, and here's a bunch of sad news because Power Rangers. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong comic announced. So a crossover we didn't know we needed. If you thought Power Rangers versus Godzilla was a thing, you guys have no idea. This was announced, and I'm like, why?
you're gonna have a panel of Bruce telling Clark, "Yeah, I know everything about these two," and he's just like, "How?" Because I'm Batman. Because thinking about it, like this is again a really weird crossover that somebody in their mind was thinking about. Like, hey, the people need this. Because you're taking together two concepts that people enjoy. The Justice League and Godzilla's MonsterVerse. So that's why it was just really weird that they named it though, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. Because I mean, are they implying that Kong and Godzilla are going to be fighting again, and then maybe these two pop in, or the Justice League pops in the middle of their fight, and then there's like, who is this tiny human that's punching me incredibly hard? Kind of deal. Like, I don't know where the thought came for this. Like, if it was like a specific superhero from the Justice League, like maybe, but the entire Justice League against this, it's weird. But
so this is being written by Brian Bucalato with art by Christian Ducci and colors by Luis Guerrero. It's a 7-issue series starting on October 17th. There's a special round sound effects cover with soundtracks containing Godzilla and Kong's Wars, which will be available on November 14th of this year. So go to the local comic shop.
I think when you have two C's together, it's like a ch sound. So it's Brian Buccialetto. I don't know. Sorry for just Mr. Brian. If somehow you come across this and you hear your name being named.
So we're gonna move on from this to something that I'm not shocked by, but I have thoughts on it. The Cosmic Fury Megazord is in stock on Amazon.
So, just going off of the Cosmic Fury Megazord being shown to, I got shown this early by somebody. I'm not going to name who, and I was just like, this is incredibly disappointing visually. I mean, it's cool that they're going along with the gimmick of, hey, we'll make the red be a solo Zord again. So there's alternate parts for this. But at the same time, they shrunk it down. The usual silver plastics are gray. And of course, what would have been the Q-Tama and Q-Ranger are completely opaque. There's no transparent. You can't see the Ranger cockpits in them, which is a little sad considering that you're going to get a lot of scenes. Or actually, no. Since they switched to suits, I think that may be why. So that way there's not going to be like little kids who are playing with this and they look inside and like, who's that Ranger? That's not the Ranger I see on TV. At the same time, it's like you could have still had them clear. You didn't have to put a Ranger in them if you want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have, as they named them, the Lion Zord, Chameleon Zord, Wolf Zord, Bull Zord, and the Shark Zord, because apparently kids don't know what a swordfish is.
Here we go again.
Well, according to some people that I've talked to, the reason they went with Shark Zord is because I guess it's more marketable.
Fair. I was actually having a conversation with my girlfriend about that since, as you know, she's a screenwriter, so you want something to sell, you add a shark. Which I mean is not terrible advice just in general.
So I have a rant about this, and it's not really a real rant. It's just like, because before we did this today, I was actually talking to my buddy Seth about this. You had a great concept with the Dino Fury Zords. You added articulation in places where they really needed it, and it felt like a Power Rangers version of a Transformer. This is a step backwards. I understand because you have the orbs. I mean, they're not. I can't even call them Q-Tama because they're not Q-Tama. You have the orbs on the back of each Zord, so that's I understand it's kind of limiting the articulation, but you could have removed like the ability to like remove these and added like a joint or something. Like, and also the price tag. There were people talking about this yesterday on Twitter. The retail price for this is $72.99. You know you can get for another $15 Q-Reno. Hell, for $70 you can get the Korean release of Q-Reno on Amazon.
Yeah, they're shrinking it down. Definitely hurts people's opinion on this thing, because like the fact that because the Dino Fury Megazord, I think it's like roughly, like I think it's maybe a tad different in comparison to Kishiryu, I think.
But that it's still a good sized robot.
It's still a good sized robot. This thing is smaller. Like it's so when we went from Kishiryu to Kiramajin, Kiramager, the Kiramager mecha were tiny compared to. They basically were the size of like a standard action figure, I think, or like a little bit bigger. So maybe like a 7-inch action figure compared to like a Megazord being like a 8 or 9-inch tall. So that's why like I think a lot of people are kind of disappointed in this, which is like because people love the Q Ranger mecha. They like the look of it. I think is the best way to say it. Not rather than they like the original toy that much, but they like the look of it. So they were hoping maybe similar look quality to it if possible. But and like Gary said, it is a step back compared to what we got with the.
No, absolutely. I'm
Furious Megazord. Yeah, because
I mean, the only thing that so I watched a little bit of Josh, aka Living Ranger Key's video on this as well. The only thing they added was a head swivel for the head of the Megazord, as well as a not hip rotation, swivel joint at the hips. I technically think it's the hips, whatever. It's a lower body rotation. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, this is a design that's just begging for more articulation, especially because you can use the swordfish. I'm calling it a swordfish. I don't care. It's not a shark. You can use the swordfish as an actual sword.
Says karate chop action.
Like I said, if
I mean, you can absolutely whack someone upside the head with a shark. I've done it. Granted, it was a stuffed shark, but still.
I mean, now granted, honestly, if you have any inclination at all to wanting this versus Kureno, here's my counterpoint to getting this versus Kureno. Not only on price, as far as we know, these are the only Zords we're getting from Cosmic Fury. We don't. I'll be shocked if we get any other Zords, because if we're using Dino Fury and Beast Morphers as bars, right? For example, Beast Morphers didn't release the Lion. Dino Fury didn't release the Raptors or
Pachycephalosaurus.
Or Pocky. So this is going to be one of those cases where I highly suggest getting the Japanese versions. Yes, you're paying a little bit more, but the thing is, you can get everything except Orion Butler.
I think something we could say is like it is like disappointing in terms of how the Power Rangers brand has gone for Megazords wise, because we went from Dino Charge and we had Ninja Steel, and then we had Beast Morphers and then Dino Fury. With Ninja Steel, I think Ninja Steel also missed some Zords, but Dino Charge came up with brand new Zords when Bandai had them. Like you had ones for the Ammonite, you had ones for the sure, a lot of them were remolds, but they were still technically Zords for dinosaurs we did not get. Like the Oviraptor got one.
I'm about to say because I remember. I think it was Collector Shuki was freaking out because she back during the old RRR days, Collector Shuki, then known as Shuko and Shinobi, used to make jokes about Ogiraku. And I remember seeing people's reactions to saying Ogirakus or with poop missiles. And that made me incredibly laugh. But it's like I said, if you want to get if you're fine only owning the Cosmic Fury Megazord, by all means, I'm not telling you not to buy it. I'm just giving you a suggestion. Hunt down the Q-Ranger stuff.
Knowing that Cosmic Fury, or as we've been mostly calling it in the circle, Angry Space, is coming out with only, I think, 10 episodes. It may be that they only use the Q&O footage. They may have not used any of the other footage for the other Zords. But then again, there's also that rumor about Fern coming on as the Orange Ranger, which would entail them using the Scorpion. So we'll see. It's a possibility they may release at least the limbs for these guys. I don't think they're going to do whole soldiers Zord. They're not going to do Uteo. They're not going to do the big Kuma, Lil Kuma. And they're definitely not going to do Orion Battler. I don't see where they're going to do that unless they somehow say, oh, this is Zeto's Zord. Okay, but where did it come from? Money.
There's a simple explanation for that, Reggie.
We never got that damn explanation.
We never will. All right, so that's enough ragging the Cosmic Fury Zords.
Angry Space.
I do want to. You know what, hey, Reggie? Question for you for a future episode. Would you be down to do an episode talking about not only Dino Fury but also Cosmic Fury?
We can put it on the schedule.
I'd be down. Yeah.
I mean, there's positives that we would have for sure. There's definitely going to be some negatives.
Yeah, and it would also give me an honest excuse to finish season 2 of Dino Fury and watch Cosmic Fury. But anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about positive things. Guys, you know what we need nowadays in 2023? Re-releases of past Sentai mecha in South Korea. I'm talking about Tyranno King.
So for those who don't know, Dino Force, which is basically Dino Charge, which is basically Kyoryuger, was a very popular series in Korea. They actually made Dino Force Brave, which is a secondary series where they did remolds of is it Kyoryu? Oh, Kyoryu King. I can't remember the actual Japanese name. Kyoryujin. There's so many different variants for mecha, but as you can see here, though, the difference compared to what originally they did. So the Zenshi for this, they're just making it like transparent pieces, and that actually doesn't look like they're functional at all. It's just like the transparent pieces that are painted, and there are some paint.
They're Jolly Ranchers.
The forbidden Jolly Ranchers. But yeah, there's paint missing on these mechs, so it's like a basic thing you can get, because there is rumors. I don't know if Gary has it up on here, but there's rumors that Eugene. Okay, well, we'll get to that then. But yeah, you can kind of see here just in the image alone, the first image alone, that like Dracara's counterpart for this, it's missing pink on the frill of the Triceratops.
Yeah.
There's also no, from what I can see, as clear as I can see it, they're missing the 5 colors on Stagochi's blade.
Yeah.
Gotcharder looks mostly okay. I don't know what might be missing from there, but we're probably gonna see. There's a comparison pic actually attached to that, so we can take a look and see what is actually missing. So Gary, you can just click the next arrow,
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so
okay, it's his teeth. Something's up with his teeth or his mouth.
Bottom teeth, the pink on the frill, like you said, the green color on Stagochi's blade, and here's what I want to know though: is this just a straight re-release, or are they going to reinforce the pins or the tabs rather?
Well, considering there's paint missing, it would have to be a remold or like a remold thing. So
yeah,
well, we'll see. There's got to be somebody out there who buys one of these, because I mean, with the news that we will get to, I don't know how many people are going to actually go for this thing from the U.S. side of things.
I mean,
South Korea definitely is going to be people that are going to buy it, because, like I said, Dino Force was a very popular series for them. But
yeah. Anyway, so that's just a really neat thing. By the way, in case anybody wants to know what else South Korea has done recently with re-releases, what are they on now, Reggie? Like their 4th or 5th reuse of all the Gotchard mecha?
Yeah, Gotchard is also very popular there. They've made pretty much alternate colorations for the mecha, for most of them. And then they've also done some remolds. So they've turned Geo Whale into a Brachiosaurus, I think.
Yeah, Geo Brach. It's funny because it takes you to Tokyo. I know those guys have like every release. And I think it's hilarious.
Well, it's funny because Gotchard, you can technically call it educational, because the original Gotchard mech was 1 to 10, and then now you have new Gotchard mechs, which all have like A through I think A through I or J. So it's it's a cool concept too. Plus, you can just do the cube stacking, since a lot of them could just stack on each other. So.
All right, so there's that.
Okay, Heisei Generations Editions Live. So for anybody that does collect SH figure arts like myself, 3 of these are a big middle finger to you if you don't collect any of the vehicles or alternate forms, because these are marketed as Heisei Generations Edition. So these are pretty much, majority of it is re-releases, but the accessory count is another thing. So X8 and Ghost are pretty much unchanged. They come with everything that they had originally. Well, except for I think Eurosen that came with Ghost, because that was a pre-order bonus. But Drive, Build, and Geo come with their weapons. Now, the reason why I'm grunting about this is that fact that Drive, you could only get the Handle Ken and Dorju with Type Technique or Type Wild and Type Technique respectively. You had to buy those other 4 figures to get those weapons.
One of which was a web exclusive.
Yep. And then you had Build. The Drill Crusher only came with the Machine Builder, which again was web exclusive. And now GL comes with both versions of the G-Con grade, which only came with his bike, which again, web exclusive. So if you didn't collect any of these Heisei Riders before, now's your chance to get all of them with their weapons. But for those who did buy them all before and then had to get those bikes and had to get those extra forms, you're probably shaking your fist angrily right now. But because the thing with Build and Geo, those were like early release. When I say early release, there's specific time frames that a lot of these figure arts come out, and as like a preview release, they typically do like 2 figures for retail. So you have like one that doesn't come with the accessories, it's just pretty much a basic figure with extra hands, and they have like another figure or another thing that comes with like extra parts for them. So in the case of Build, Build and Night Rogue, so like an enemy figure. Those were like the first 2 retail releases that actually came out for Build, and then so the web exclusive had to come with all the parts that you needed to complete your build.
Yeah.
Then you had Geo, which did have gates, which they could have included the weapons with gates, but instead they included Ride Watch stands because that was the big marketable thing they were trying to do.
I remember those.
Which, what's funny enough, I believe, Build, Xaid, and Drive all were released in that line as 20 Heisei or 20 rider kicks with Ride Watch stands, but nothing else. So basically bare bones release for them. Just like extra hands, like I said earlier.
Kiva was the same way because I remember when I got my figure as Kiva, then my buddy Goku had.
Well, Kiva though that's an exception though, Gary, because Kiva never had a figure art of itself at base Kiva form. You did have Emperor, you did have Dark Kiva, you did have Ixa back in the day, but you never got Kiva in his base form. So that was technically Kiva's first ever figure art. You did have Shochaku Henshins, but nothing for Kiva. So Kiva came out around the time of Geo, which is why they included that Bright Watch stand.
Yeah.
So that was actually also technically a pre-order bonus too, I think.
Like I said, if you guys haven't gotten these, and that's what you also said, if you haven't got these, go grab them. They're on Amazon, Tokullectibles, Big Bad Toy Store. Well, except
originally you could get them also on the Ami and HLJ, but they've sold out by now. But in Japan, they're coming out in January. For these, they range, like a lot of them have different release dates for like February through April. So
yeah, so
keep an eye on the aftermarket though if you want to try and get these and you miss out on the pre-orders, because I feel like you'll be able to find them. Or if anything, you might find somebody that's so like, I don't need these original releases. I'm just gonna get the new ones. I'm just gonna sell my old releases, which is really weird if you think about it, because a lot of this is just re-release, just with extra stuff. But I mean, I could see not even the bike. Like I sold the bike for Geo to my buddy Chad, but I kept the weapons. So there's that.
I miss Chad. What a good dude. But now here's a follow-up question.
Chad's the best.
Does EB have any of these pre-ordered?
No. He is angry about it, but he does not have any of these pre-ordered.
But why? It's EB is
okay, so this is just for you two. EB has texted me multiple times that he wants to be on the show, but he wants to do a segment that's called "Does EB Own It?"
I'm down.
I'll text him later. We'll see when we can actually do that. But
I'm down. But here's the thing, though: there's only going to be 2 figures.
So I actually own something right now that EB doesn't. I'm keeping an eye out for him. So
okay,
there's that. But
speaking of figure arts, real quick, T Bandai SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Gazer.
So Gazer's announcement came out of nowhere compared to everybody else, because Gazer is a somewhat major character within Geats. He is primarily a repaint of Kamen Rider Glare, which is coming out later this year too. But Gazer, I know when I posted up that link in the Discord, Tali said, he kind of has a little bit of a leg up on Glare because he has blue on him. But yeah, this is basically the same kind of idea for Glare, was having like the alternate head for depending on whoever the user of Gazer is. But yeah, it's a like I said, it came out of nowhere. There was no like P Bandai stream or anything. It just suddenly popped up on like a Friday night, I think. And it's like, what the heck? Where did this come from? Because you know, a lot of times these days, a lot of the news that goes around, it might be just Photoshop or something like that. But this was just like, this is posted by Fake Soku first, so it's like, oh crap, it's real. But
yeah, and I think the biggest takeaway here is expect the unexpected when it comes to P Bandai and Figure releases now.
Yeah, so given that we have Glare, we have Gazer, we know that the final boss of Geats has been shown already in the most recent episode, which is Regard, which uses parts from Glare and Gazer and then parts from, for some reason, Assault Vulcan and Orthros Vulcan. So I can see them
I've
doing
seen
that.
those suits again.
I can see them making that figure art too, but
So
it's one of those things where I'm hoping that they do utilize the soft plastic kind of like script piece that they've been using with like Buffa and Saber and stuff like that, because that one has like coattails compared to Gazer here, which is mostly, like I said, he's mostly a repaint, not really much of a remold on some spots.
all right, so moving on from Gazer, I just want to bring this up real quick because it's premiering next. Because God King, which is premiering next week. Yeah, Reggie, I'm using my one square card right now.
I don't know where my gavel is, Gary, so actually just go crazy.
So
Go crazy anyway.
So it's taken. Shinkenger was 09, right?
Yeah,
Shinkenger
Shinkenger was 09, and
It's
Go
ta-
Busters was 2012.
It's taken 14 fucking years. We finally have the clusterfuck back.
No, well,
Technically, it's a
Cluster
cluster bug.
cluster bug of all of Mecha.
This thing just I saw since a friend of the show, Sentai 5's thread.
Yeah, so what people called in the first episode came out to be true. The castle is another mecha itself. It's the Caucasus with the Kabuto like axe weapon, which then forms part of the helmet. Which honestly, the look of it, pretty decent color wise. It actually fits a lot with the color scheme. I know people are hoping or waiting to see when, because we know King Oju Zero is coming out. So people are hoping, and they've seen, I think, a preview of Gotcharder with the black and gold color scheme. So I'm going to see,
Listen to me.
we're definitely going to see people like, switching them out for standard King Oju to make primarily all black and gold sword.
So Reggie, I don't know if you can see behind me with my broad shoulders. So I'm gonna just take the viewer behind the curtain before we continue. Oh, Aaron's here. What's up, Aaron? The night that I bought my black and gold Ultimate Daidoken, I told Reggie, Vaughn, and Chenix. And we clearly know what happened, so I have it behind me in my bookcase. When I get a job again, that damn King Oju Zero is going to be mine. This is all your fault.
Did you have black and gold Gingayo too?
Yes, but that was more of a conscious purchase because I was like, I love Ginga Man.
I know you're gonna say, I love gold.
I mean, listen to me. If money wasn't an object, I kind of want to make a giant black and gold shelf, or if a mecha has a black and gold release, I buy it. But that would require me to get the biggest problem. The biggest problem with that is I would be legally required to hunt down the Time Shadow Time Robo set, and that's hard to find for less than $2,000 US. And I would need to hunt down the Life Force Robo set. I would need to hunt down the black and gold. The only other black and gold is Daivoken, Gingayo, Victory Max, or Max Victory Robo. And then last year's Don Taijin. Anyway, so this is pretty cool. I haven't watched King Drought in a while, but it just looks gaudy and badass and awesome. And now
The fact that
to
they
pay off
have a
a
practical
tease.
suit for it is also incredible.
I feel so bad for the suit actor, dude.
One of these days, they just need to get like a Japanese wrestler or like a bodybuilder suit actor. Like have Hiroshi Tanahashi come in and have him be like a Buster Neck suit actor. That'd be incredible.
Can we just get Kenny Omega?
They have to figure out a
New
way
Japan?
to okay. They have to figure out a way to that'd be honestly hilarious if they could. But what's the next piece, Gary?
Kyoryujin and Kyoryu Red are going to be in King Editor, and they're going to be doing a new Kyoryujin, and that's all we know.
Yeah, so what we've been told, and what some people have told me they've seen, is that it's a brand new mold, kind of in a way for Kyoryujin. It pretty much looks like most of the same mold, but it does have like elbows. So basically, they took the idea from Dino Fury giving Kishiyo elbows, and they're like, "Hey, let's do that for Kyoryujin." A lot of people were questioning the choice for Kyoryu Red to come in, but then they were like, "Oh, he's technically a king." I think there have been the ruler type characters in the past. Like technically, Shinken Red is a lord, but I guess they just wanted to play off of the whole Kyoryuger, Dino Charge, Dino Force popularity, and that's why they went with him. There's also an anniversary coming up soon, so that also plays that factor.
So my response to that is they're missing one true king character. King Ranger.
It's okay. You go ahead and rest, all right?
Yeah, feel better, Tali. Seriously. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Always happy to pop in. So anytime you guys want to hear me sit in silence, just go ahead and drop me a line.
Okay.
No problem. Don't worry. We'll have you on for Running Warriors at some point.
Yeah, I'm Reg. We are so going to have to force that onto you at some point. I will pay for your copy if I have to.
It's 39 episodes. It's on Tubi. Come on, Reggie. You love me.
I feel like there's gonna be one day I'm just gonna be like walking out in the neighborhood, and all of a sudden somebody just goes like, Tali and Gary Sammy just slap me with like a Wooden Warriors disc or something, and then like give me like the real copy because that was a decoy.
All I'm saying is, come the holidays, don't be surprised if you find a mysterious Blu-ray sized bot sitting on your door that you don't seem to recall ordering. All I'm saying is just don't be surprised if that happens, because next year is the 25th anniversary of it airing on Toonami.
We can talk about it next year.
Okay. You heard it here first. 2024, Bugz2Men talking about Running Warriors, one of the greatest anime of all time.
I feel like Pocky's gonna pop in here all of a sudden because like we may have summoned her.
Yes, I will bring her in, assuming she's up to it. But seriously, guys, I have got to bail.
Feel better.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, and I will see you around. Reg, I will especially see you around. Gary, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, Tali. Take care.
Yep. Hasta.
Awesome.
All right. So back on the news segment of things, yeah. What's the next thing?
We got that, and then SMP One Tiger.
One Tiger, aka the Tiger Zord. It's likely gonna happen. We are getting, or we may have already gotten the Shoto set for Die Ranger.
And
I think we already got it.
And then SMP Diorama, which should be out soon as well.
Yeah. So that's another cool thing. Like I loved building mini Pla back when I was able to just grab them from Mitsuha. I think the most recent mini Pla I got, I think I bought from Adam was Zenkaio, Jirangaon, and that's basically I never got Majin and Rune. I never got the
last
the Zenkai King thing. I never got that, but yeah,
the
that's
last SMP thing I bought was the SMP Power Ranger stuff last year because I was like, screw it, I need it. And then moving on from there.
okay. So 3-0 is basically our
very extensive toy line.
our only way to get Hot Toys style Rangers at the moment. I think there was something in the past, but these are 1/6 scale, so obviously bigger. And at first, everybody was thinking, "Oh, they're only going to do MMPR because everybody loves MMPR." But instead, we did get a preview at SCCC of Zeo Red. Again, it is another Tommy thing, but hey, that's a new season. And we also got, for some reason, a putty.
I'm okay with this.
Well, I think it's just because when you think of putty, you're thinking Inhuman Monster. You're not thinking of somebody in like, I mean, yeah, obviously in the show they're in a suit, but you don't really think that they make something like suit material. They probably just mold it in a way, but instead they made it a suit where you can actually in this photo see the putty's crotch.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, if you guys are into like the higher end collectible line, 3-0, normally they retail from $400 to $500 a figure. That's real. They have real spandex fabric, and it's really detailed. And as much as I love Zeo, I can't justify the price.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it on here, but 3-0 is also doing. I don't know if you talked about this in a previous segment, though, Gary. They are doing Shin Kamen Rider. They are doing.
I did not.
3-0 also has a Nego that they showed up recently, and like those ones you can actually order from Showbiz.store. It was a site that I bought like some stuff off of before. I saw them listing it. But yeah, it's like full on. You can switch out you can switch out the boots and the gloves to make it look like the final battle kind of deal. Like there's a lot of 3-0 goes heavily with accessories. So we'll see how this comes out too. But
and plus,
I'm not getting it. That's like way too out of my...
It's like I said, I would love to own this. This is just way too out of my. This is like beyond what I will pay for anything. Now, granted, I did buy Black Mobile from Broken, and that was very expensive on my wallet. Speaking of things that are going to be very expensive on people's wallets, they did announce PulseCon 2023, September 22nd at 11 a.m. There's going to be stuff to pre-order as per usual.
Yeah. So, as somebody who collects Marvel Legends, collects Transformers, collects Black Series, collects some of the Lightning Collection, I may be actually bowing out. It really depends. Like, I'm actually looking at stuff on my shelves and thinking, like, do I really need this kind of deal? This is still a danger. Well, when it comes to like Marvel Legends and stuff, because of Spider-Verse, I'm heavily hunting down like Spider-Man related characters, Spider-Man variants, stuff like that. I have not gotten any of the Guardians of the Galaxy wave. I've not gotten any of the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania wave. I've not gotten any of the the Marvels wave, which is surprising because I love Kamala Khan. She's one of my favorite MCU characters, but she's one of my favorite comic book characters, and I actually loved Iman Balani's portrayal of her. So I would technically get her from that wave. I don't know, like I've kind of bowed out of that. Same with like Black Series. I primarily collect Mandalorians, so I haven't really got anything from Black Series in a while. And then with Transformers, Gary knows this. I love Beasts. Like Beast Wars was my shit back in the day. To the point that like I pretty much have the season 1 cast all up here on my shelf already. Like the only way that they would probably get me to buy Transformers, go into buying Transformers again is if they end up, saying like, hey, we're gonna go into the Fusors and they bring Silverbolt and Quick Strike in. The only to lay this down for you guys, the only outside of the variants that we got, pretty much the eagle repaint for Eraser. I think they also call that Silver Gold. And
Yeah, because that's based
Stuff.
on Beast Wars Neo. Oh no, that's based on well, no, that is Beast Wars Neo because that combines with Lio Jr. And the elephant dude who was named in America with Ironhide to form Magnaboss.
Magnaboss, yeah. And like the repaints of Pterosaur and stuff like that. Like the only like unique mold, I guess, that hasn't been that's been released I haven't picked up yet is Dragon Megatron. And that's basically because of the size of him. I don't know where I put him. I even have Leo Prime up here on the side. But
So
yeah, this is gonna be very, very very unique to see and contemplate what you would actually buy.
So I have a question before we move any further. Have you seen the leaks for next year's Transformers line?
No. So I know we've been diving into Armada is what we've kind of gotten so far. Of like we're talking about like non G1 stuff. We've got Armada, we've got IDW. Because I think I've told you guys in the past, like RID would be like the next Transformers thing I'd be like trying to go in on. I know we have Toe Line that came out. I think it's Target exclusive, which but at the same time, I'm just like, man, if he goes on clearance, maybe. But
I have one thing to say. Like, all right, I'm going to preface it by saying, start saving now because there's 2 Beast Wars figures coming on the first wave of next year.
Great. Oh, that's another thing I'm still missing is that Ravage that they did, that remold one. Not Shadow Panther, but like that.
I know
exactly for PulseCon last year or the year before that, which that one pissed me off because that sold out.
Now, Reggie, as your friend, do you want me to tell you what those 2 Beast Wars characters are, or do you want to be surprised?
Go for it, because I'll need to see if I actually do need a grab or not.
Leader class Tigerhawk, Voyager class Silverbolt.
First question that goes to my head is, where the fuck are you gonna go? Second question is, why the fuck did they come out? Third question is,
they're in the first wave to my knowledge, so we'll probably see them at PulseCon. As these things tend to go, they normally do like the first wave reveal at PulseCon every year. So speaking of Transformers, great segue. Movie Masterpiece, Bone Crusher. I don't collect the movie Masterpiece line at all because money. But these are pretty cool. It's just like new versions.
2007 Transformers kind of was the revival for me for wanting to go back into getting Transformers, because like I was living in Japan when like Energon and Cybertron came out, but back then I only really focused on Armada because I ended up shifting more towards, actually, funny enough, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Kamen Rider at that point. Like I didn't really pay that much attention to Transformers. So coming back to America and then watching the Transformers movie, like that kind of got me collecting again. But then I got started customizing, so a lot of those collected pieces are, honestly, because that was like my early days of customizing, are trash. But I still have them, though. Like they're just in a box in my closet right now. Like I don't really touch them. But
yeah.
So this is really cool for those that love Bone Crusher. I think I had a Bone Crusher, the deluxe back in the day, but I think I was stupid and I tried to customize him to the point that I actually wrecked him. That I had to toss him out. So yeah, Bone Crusher coming in here. Like I think isn't he like a masterpiece? So he's Masterpiece movie. He's like a leader class, I think, because he's supposed to be like a big guy.
Yeah.
Just seeing the articulation just on these photos that Gary hasn't really pulled up, because right now he's currently looking at the well, where you had it on the screen, it was like positioned just at the price points for that wave for Legacy.
I want that Dreadwing, but I'm not paying $55 for it straight up. I'm
waiting to see when we can encounter that Evolution Core class Dynamo Snarl, because Volcanicus was one of the ones that I did get that's outside of the beasts. because I love the Dinobots. I had the original Volcanicus, the Titan's
I-
Wave, but then I had to, I had to nix it because, like, well, space and money. But
Yeah,
this
I'm about to
was,
say. I was one of the guys who had the Power of the Primes Volcanicus as well, and it was just I just didn't like it.
yeah, so he's missing his leg, and the thing is, though, is like, we had these all kind of like listed at specific points in time, but so the first two we got, Snarl and Sludge. We got, or not Snarl, Slug and Sludge. Those came out like last year, so I got those as like gifts from Amazon, from people off my Amazon wish list. Grimlock was supposed to come out in June, but he came out early on Amazon, so I got them quick. Swoop and Scar here, they're supposed to come out they're supposed to come out I think last month or early this month, but I ended up finding them at my Target like really.
I genuinely don't remember. Was I the one who got you one of the Dinobots as well?
I think so. I think you got Sludge.
Yeah, it was Sludge. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'm just missing Snarl, and so I'm wondering like, okay, so probably because he's due in October, so I'm going to laugh though if I end up going to do my post office drop in like 2 weeks and I end up finding him at random Target. So we're like, hey, finish him off. But right now, actually, I had an Amazon return, so I think the refund from the return actually paid for Snarl. So we'll see.
Damn. Yeah, this is cool if you're inside the more complex Transformers. Speaking of things that came out of left field, Missing Link Optimus Prime, and we're gonna get to Dinobot in a couple of minutes here.
So yeah, Missing Link Optimus Prime. I actually joked about this with somebody on a different server because he said like Missing Link is up. I said like no, links are right there. Missing Link Optimus Prime is essentially G1 Optimus Prime, but with added articulation.
Yeah, it's not a brick anymore. And it looks really cool. And it comes with all the accessories that the original one had, and it comes with the trailer, and it's
because there's two versions actually they can get. So this one is basically the toy version, and there's an anime version. That's what they call it. So which has like the blue eyes, I think. But none of the extra accessories except for like his axer is gone. But
you could buy this one, and it comes with everything.
Yeah, this one comes with everything. So I know Chris went ahead and bought both because G1 for a lot of people, like when it comes to Transformers, the series I hear people talk about the most would be G1 because everybody it's the nostalgia factor there. The Unicron Saga in total. I won't say like specifically which part of the Unicron Saga, but I feel like the Unicron Saga gets a lot of love. RID. Beast Wars definitely for people from the 90s. Yeah, hey, it's Beast Wars.
Yeah.
People really don't talk about G2 that much.
Unless you're a collector.
Yeah, the movie line basically, if you were introduced to Transformers through the movies, which honestly is really weird to hear from somebody these days. Animated. Had some love. I mean, we got Prowl, the motorcycle.
Here's the thing. I saw that Prowl in one of my local card shops because there's also a toy shop as well. I get a hard pass. I can't justify it.
So Animated was another one of those lines where I did like start getting stuff from there. I still have Bulkhead because that was a Christmas gift from my grandpa, but like I was trying to give it to my nephew, but my sister's like no, so he's still here with me. So my nephew just plays it. So my nephew still plays with him whenever he comes to visit.
Aww.
But yeah, that's the thing though. Like because we got with Legacy, we did get a Bulkhead, but he was more stylized after the RID, like 2000.
Prime.
Prime, like that he's more based off the Prime design, which made me a little sad because we got introduced to Bulkhead in Animated, so I was expecting more of a Bulkhead approach, but yeah, it's cool to see that we get some variation of like original toys and stuff like that. But yeah, what you were talking about though, Gary, is so in Japan, in Takara they're doing a lot of these kind of like versus packs for Transformers, Beast Wars. and a lot of them are like better retechos, to be honest. So like, if you can pull out that picture of Dinobot versus Tarantulas.
Actually, that was actually one of my news stories.
So yeah, so Dinobot himself, yeah, a lot more detail than the Kingdom Dinobot. I can tell you that for sure, because I'm looking at mine right now at the shelf, and there is definitely stuff that's missing. So primarily, the tannish, like stripes that are on him, the red inside his weapon, the color on his claws,
Yeah.
and of course, the detailing on its legs. For sure, those are pieces that are missing. There may also be some details on his helmet that are missing as well. The reason why I'm not grabbing him and actually showing him on camera is because he's behind Cheetor, so I'd have to grab him without somehow knocking Cheetor off the shelf. But and Tarantulas himself, well, whenever we can cycle back to Tarantulas' robot mode, because I have Tarantulas in robot mode, so I can't really see the comparisons for
there you go.
that.
All right,
but
so
actually, Tarantulas looks fairly similar to the Legacy Evolution release. I think that it may just be some slight color variation. Like I'm really looking back and forth trying to see like where's the difference in the sky.
it's all good.
It might be that the yellows are a bit brighter.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, that's definitely one thing. The details on his legs, the yellows on his legs, they're not present on the Legacy Evolution. And yeah, I think that's pretty much the only real difference from what I can see. But yeah, it's really cool that we're getting more of these packs. It comes with
and it also comes with the golden disc as well, which for anybody who's seen Jobby the Hong's video for the third part for the Transart, what's it called? Transart Megatron. That's just a fun video, but there's a very interesting thing that David K almost does. There's also the Lunar Rover Prime. That's pretty
Which is honestly a really cool concept. I know why they had to go with Prime, just the marketing. But I feel like it would have been cool if they got a different Autobot to represent the Rover.
I would have loved it was going to be Ironhide. Because Ironhide...
It could have been Ironhide. It could have been Ratchet, too, because white, Rover vehicle thing. Actually, they could have just made it Roller if they wanted to. They could have just had Roller be a character. But again, marketing. You got to do it. But these are really cool to see. I think these are all up on order freight at HLJ still. So,
yeah. All right.
Because I don't know if they're going to import them. Okay, this one is a controversial release or a controversial thing just because of his decals. Because yeah, as you can see there, they show new Autobot signs of life instead of the red cross.
The red cross symbol. I guess licensing.
Licensing, yeah, but at the same time, people are complaining because inaccuracy. Because Studio Series prides itself on being accurate or being as close to the animation model as possible. So the fact that he's not because of those decals is what I think is the detractor for most people on this.
So this is the thing that they're doing. I'm not going to get it. I don't have any real interest. But Reggie, I have a hypothetical question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So if during the holidays, pray tell, you were to get a mysterious box from Toy Arena that's masterpiece sized, and inside contained a certain angry ape, would you say no?
Monkey. Okay, so again, those who know me, Beast Boys, favorite series for sure. So I honestly wouldn't say no. I just would, again, I'm using this third time for myself. Where the fuck would I put it? Because I think that, okay, the only other Transformer I've bought in these past years that is not Beast Force related was only because I bought it at an incredibly cheap price because I found it out at Ross, which was the Coronation Starscream Series 86.
That's
I got it for $16, and it's still in box on my shelf. That way, not with the Transformers. It's that way because
$16.
$16 at Ross. Originally 14 without tax. And the box is in really good condition too. So
See,
that'll potentially be a flip. Honestly, it really depends. Like if I need to,
So hold on.
it'll be a flip.
Hold on. I actually had visual aid. So last year, you remember when I went to TFCon?
Yep.
Did I tell you how much I got a BotCon Springer for?
No.
$40.
Was BotCon Springer 2004 or was that 2000?
I think it was 2007.
Really? Because he's based off of an Enertron or Cybertron mold, right?
He's based off of Cybertron Defense Hotshot. Yeah, Cybertron Defense Hotshot at the same con for $40 too. What's it called?
That's a really good one.
Dude, it's like I said, when I say that TFCon made me spend a lot of money, Reggie, it made me spend a lot of money.
So for context of people that are watching, convention exclusives vary depending on what the character is and the aftermarket price. So for him getting it for $40, it's actually really good.
So
if he had gotten it for if you bought that thing, and it's also a loose figure. If you bought it for like 100 or something bucks, I would have said, Gary, go back to that booth, return it, get your money back. Like you can find it. If you can find it in box at that price, then yeah, go for it. Especially if it's sealed.
it's
one of the things that I'm starting to do is depending on if it's carded, I'm keeping it on card. Which is why when I won those 2 raffles for that Spider-Man cell shaded, so I got 2 of them. That's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna open one now because I have to. I can keep it on card.
What's it called? At that same con though, I did grab the Vexel Promenon, which is a third-party transformer that transfers into Batman. I grabbed that for $120 mint and seal box, which is perfect. That's where I also grabbed my Gary Rouser, and I bought a whole bunch of fun stuff at that con, and horrible financial decisions were made. But anyway, enough about those horrible financial decisions. I got one more Transformer story, and then 2 SCCCs and card game thing. This thing.
Yeah, Series Rise of the Beast is probably the whole. So
yeah.
Considering that the most of the series we've seen so far, well, when I say most, I'm really only talking about Eraser, because most of the Eraser was basically like a remold or
it was pretty much going to be a remold of the Kingdom one. Although
the explanation for that one though is this is spoilers for those who haven't seen the movie, and I only really know this because I still haven't seen the movie because it has not gone up free anywhere yet, or not on any service that's not paid for. But I just know this fact is that, again, spoiler, you don't see her robot form in the movie, so I understand why they went ahead and just reused the mold. Although at the same time, they could have just did that deluxe one that they did in that 3-pack and just used that as Studio Series. So I don't know where they came from for the marketing, but yeah, that would have been cool to see them do that instead. But seeing Optimus Primal here, again, a unique mold for him. And honestly, I'm wondering how that whole weapon system fits in.
I know Prime vs. Prime did the review. I haven't watched it yet, but I need it for my monkey shelf.
Prime. There's controversy with that guy, so I'm not going to really say my thoughts on it. But yeah, it's cool that we're getting another Primal, especially when I think the basic line I think is a remold of the Kingdom Optimus Primal. So it's really cool that we're getting a brand new mold, and he's a leader class. They actually made him big because with Optimus Primal, you're expecting the leader, but I think that outside of that repaint of Optimus that they did during Power of the Primes, which was a leader, I think most of the time we've got Optimus Primal, he's been Voyager class, but
he's a Voyager class, because I have
my Kingdom Primal is Voyager class, and he's
Yeah.
also at the same time shorter than Voyager class Tigertron, Rhinox, and Dinobot. So
Yeah,
it's really
so
cool that
this
we're getting big monkey.
big monkey. All right, so I'm gonna roll through these last 5 stories. Hi gargoyles, hi dinosaurs.
Again, with the whole nostalgia factor we were talking about, because I mean, NECA has been really heavily when it comes to nostalgia. Ninja Turtles, primarily like the cartoon. So seeing them dive into other series now, it's pretty cool. Like Gargoyles, I remember that watching those on Saturday mornings.
So hold on, I need to process this. And again, I'm going to use my swear card for this one. You know, I kind of think I have to. This is an appropriate reaction. For getting Broadway in his fucking detective getup.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, NECA has released. There actually are Ninja Turtle from the movies with their trench coats, so or they're like kind of casual clothes. So yeah, it makes sense that they would try to do that for at least one character in this. But because I mean, looking at it, the fact that they have their wings folded up like into their cape look, that implies that they may have. I mean, why here we only see the accessories like their head, their faces, and their hands. But I feel like there's going to be like separate releases that actually have folded out wings, things like that.
So the original releases came only with the expanded wings. In the case of what's it called, Goliath. Also, they're doing dinosaurs too, which I find to be hilarious. I kind of want to get that baby Sinclair because of nostalgic purposes.
Well, yeah, nostalgia purposes, and then hey, it's another series of like suit actor, like anthropomorphic animal.
Like we're getting a David Xanatos. Come on, that's awesome to me. No, but what I was going to say is the original release for Bronx came with the folded up wings for Goliath. All right, so yeah, these are all cool. I can't collect these because otherwise I'm going to go broke.
Yeah. You're also like in that 7-inch scale thing, so.
Yeah. Also, Dragon Ball Z figure arts, yay.
Chad.
Sage One Naruto. Reggie bought a Goku.
I have a Goku. I have a Vegeta. I have a Trunks. Thanks to EB. I have a Frieza.
We're getting a figure arts of live action Solo.
So this Zoro. Don't say this is not for kids, Gary.
Dreaming. Don't give it up.
Okay, so of anime releases that we've seen, I don't know if they're going to show all of them over here, but we do know. But yeah, that's the new version of Goku that's supposed to be coming out. They call it the 4.0 mold because Goku's gone through so many different mold designs and things like that. There's like the accessory pack. There's Trunks. In terms of other anime, they're gonna have things that are coming out. So yeah, Bleach, Byakuya Kuchiki from Thousand Year War has been announced. I see. I want to get Bleach so I can have the big 3, but at the same time, I want them to do an original outfit Ichigo, so I can have that be with Naruto
with his original Zanpakuto.
Yeah, with the original Sangetsu.
Oh man!
So while also there, we were actually this was actually during Anime Expo. They showed off Naruto with Ninetales Chakra version, or the like basically his ultimate form back during Naruto. So which is why when I get to the spoiler portion of talking about the anime stuff, I may consider the new Ichigo too, just because of like that's technically his strongest. We do know Void and Yor coming out later this year / early this year, depending on if you get them to the US release. That they also showed off that new Anya riding on Bond, but they haven't released any information on that. But yeah, I love Spy Family, so that's why I'm really excited for that.
Berserker
has 2. They have Guts, and they have I can't remember his name, but he's basically I think he's the villain of it, isn't it? But like he has a static horse. People were hoping that the horse would be articulated, but I think just the wings of it can switch out.
So also
And
we're
then
getting these
One Piece.
guys.
There is okay. This is so I love One Piece, Gary. Whenever we can find a way to do those anime reaction video things, One Piece is going to be one of those animes I'm going to show you the openings for, like the actual Japanese openings for. So Luffy came out this past weekend. I'm waiting on mine to come in. I had to. Well, I shipped mine out with Prinny's Gokai Red because I helped Prinny get Gokai Red off of HLJ. But
Yeah.
he wanted to wait the longest time until it was like about to ship. And then luckily enough, Luffy came out though on the 11th. So I was like, here, I'll just ship them together. So because I have a bunch of stuff for Prinny anyway.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to get pre-orders though for Zoro or Sanji through HLJ, so I had to wait for Big Bad Toy Store. But Zoro is due out, I think, actually next month, but comes out in America, I think, Zoro, I think, comes out in October. He comes out in America in November, and then Sanji comes out in November, but then comes out in America in December. And then, of course, we got Yamato, who, Gary, this may confuse you, is the son of Kaido.
I know they also announced Figure Arts Kaido, and Genex was going crazy.
Yeah. So Figure Arts Kaido, it's in its hybrid form. It's not in its original form, and I think it's massive. And again, where am I going to put that? Because so for Yamato, Yamato does come out in November. I think January in America. Because that pre-order went up on the 3rd, I want to say.
Yeah.
That actually stayed up for that because I love, like I said, I love One Piece. That's definitely one of the lines that I went for. And that's a recolor Sailor Moon. I think that's supposed to go with the stores. Best selection. Okay, so besides, best selection for those who don't know is basically usually the title character of a series at a lower price point, less accessories most of the time, or slight redeco. A lot of times with the first ever Best Selection series, we had an original Naruto. Well, not original Naruto. We had 15-year-old Shippuden Naruto. We had Ultraman. We had Build. Then the next series of Best Selection, which was like 01, I think one of the Ultramen. I can't remember if it was Z or. But they were basically store exclusive or Tamashii store exclusive for those Best Selections. And then now we're getting another line of Best Selections, which includes Kid Goku right here, which is like my friends in the circle, they pretty much call him Angry Face Kid Goku because he has more of a more dramatic looking facial expressions. He's not really the smiley type. But he's also in the Turtle School Gi. And then you just saw there was Sailor Moon. But yeah,
This is the thing.
Yeah, that's a thing. The New York is getting a Tamashii Nation store, which will have, from what I saw, they will have an Ultraman figure art there. Trigger Truth, I think is that one.
Yeah.
Which was originally supposed to be like Japanese store exclusive, but I guess that they're making him.
I said it before on my channel. I'll say, and I'm gonna just say it here. I'm never going back to New York City, so I have no interest in going here.
Yeah, so I have. I know they're going to go into that store when it opens. But,
yeah, I know 3 people, one of which is Spin Dash. So, Greg, have fun. And then yes, I had.
There's Jotaku.
Yeah.
Shin Furbus. There's well, she's not on Twitter, but super califragistic.
There was one other news story I wanted to bring up here. I was going to talk about Mortal Kombat, but we're really running against the clock right now.
Yeah.
Battle Spirits is a card game that's out in Japan. It's been around for years. There's Kamen Rider sets, there's Ultraman sets. I should know because one of my friends, Alex, has a massive collection of Kamen Rider and Ultraman decks to the point where if I tell him like, "Hey, show me a card for Ultraman Orb," he sends me an entire deck list for Ultraman Orb. This is from the second set, which is False Gods. This is the most recent set, and they're doing a collaboration with Gundam. So as you can see, there's the Beam Rifle, the Sinanju, Barbados' fourth form, Freedom Gundam, the Unicorn Gundam, the Wing Gundam, and the Exia.
AKA the Gundam model kit you may see in most stores still, because not a lot of people buy Exia. For whatever reason. I think that, like, what? I went to Target, like, maybe a couple months ago, and there was, like, still a bunch of the original Exia kit.
But yeah, so I may get this Wing Gundam card at some point, because I do really enjoy playing this game. It's fun. In layman's terms, it's a more affordable Magic, but there's a lot of really cool player interactions and stuff. And yeah, that's all the news we got. So, Reggie, thanks for doing this like last minute. Like, we planned this episode this week.
Yeah, I want to say right after the Gotchard stream, actually. Which I think that, funny enough, we made this whole thing to be about Gotchard, and I think we only talked about it for the first hour. The remaining hour and a half, I think we switched into talking about news and other stuff. But yeah, everybody, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's been a while since you've been on here. You know, I think that's something that I talked to Gary about, but this is honest truth. My sister had her second kid, so that's why I wasn't on some of the episodes. I went to go visit my brand new nephew. We're actually going to see him next weekend again. He's a little chubby baby, little happy baby. So yeah, excited to see them again. Good time with them. So yeah, it's really cool that we were able to do this again, Gary. Thanks so much, man. You know, like I really want to try and get the channel to at least 100 subscribers if possible. I mean, right now we're only at 87. That's actually, I think, 87 or 86. That's actually pretty good considering that, you know, how many times we have not been on there. But then again, this channel is about, it's gonna be 3 years old next year. So
that's crazy to think about. Like, when
we think about it, like, we talked about this and we started this back when Team Rider was heavily doing the social media thing. But now that they've kind of died down on that, like, you know, I guess the interest of checking out our channel has kind of died down a bit. But at the same time, I still want to get this thing to grow. I want to try and build the brand we can, have fun as much as we can. Because I mean, that's basically what we try to do the show for, is, you know, fun for us, fun for other Tokyo fans that want to tune in. But
anyway, it's almost 4 o'clock here. I want to go prep for dinner. So Reggie, thank you for doing this as always. We will be back doing recaps and stuff, because I know I want to try to get Liz on the show for Akiva. I'm going to just try to add background commentary to that episode, because I cannot watch Akiva. I tried. It's just something about it I don't like.
So we'll see what we can do for this upcoming month, though. I know we tried to make this a bi-weekly series, but I think it's best if we keep it at the once a month if possible, and then I just do my reviews and stuff like that in the interim.
Yeah.
So that we can still have content on the channel. We just find the right weekend to kind of talk about whatever we want to. I mean, if anything, we might just do well, I may grab like Vaughn and Sean and maybe other people after Gotchard's first episode, just for like a first impression talk. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go eat lunch. You guys know where to find me. Reggie, I will be in touch.
Yeah. I mean, really quick, you know, you can find us. Gary's is GBX93. Mine is, you know, Jukaro's other, you know, social media. I put in the link not in the link. I put it in the links below on the description. You know, my Threads, my Instagram, my Blue Sky. I have like a lot of different social medias now, but that's only in case this thing implodes. So
yeah.
But yeah, be sure to check out tomorrow. I'm going to be putting up the Tycoon review. I'm probably going to try and re-record some parts still today, because I was listening to the audio yesterday and something was just off about it to me. If anything, I might just adjust the audio too. But yeah, that's William Beats. Check him out tomorrow. But yeah. I mean, we're probably just rambling on still at this point. We both need to eat. So everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Later.